You know that feeling when someone who has treated you like a disposable pawn suddenly can't stop thinking about you, scrolling your social media, remembering the tiniest details of your life, and yet acts like they don't care. That's not coincidence, that's obsession. When a narcissist becomes obsessed, it's intense, secretive, and designed to keep you in their orbit. They don't just want attention. They want control, and they want to feel your energy even if it's toxic. This is the shadow side of narcissistic abuse, where covert narcissists manipulate and haunt you without saying a word. But understanding the signs can free you from trauma bonding, emotional manipulation, and the invisible leash they try to wrap around your life. A narcissist's obsession is never casual. It's rarely obvious at first. They're masters at hiding it behind charm, fake empathy, or silence. You might catch yourself thinking, why does this person keep popping into my life, in my thoughts, even when I avoid them? That is the clue. They are obsessed, and it's hidden beneath the layers of manipulation. Once you see the pattern, you gain clarity. You see the truth behind the smokescreen, and the mystery stops controlling your emotions. You reclaim your power, your peace, and your ability to move without their shadow following you. A narcissist secretly obsessed with you will often invade your life in ways you can barely notice. They remember the smallest details, like the way you said a word, a story you casually mentioned, or even a fleeting joke you made. They collect these like trophies, and sometimes they'll use them against you subtly to keep a reaction out of you. At first it seems like they care, like they're thoughtful, but behind it is calculation and attempt to manipulate your feelings. This is classic covert narcissist behavior, emotional manipulation hidden behind sweetness. If you ever feel watched, analyzed, or like your privacy is shrinking around you, that's no accident. They will also try to control the narrative around you, even without saying anything directly. Gossip, subtle comments, passive-aggressive mentions in social circles, or even trying to influence people who matter in your life. The narcissist wants to be at the center of your story. It doesn't matter if it's subtle, if it's behind your back, if you don't notice it immediately. They want their presence felt indirectly. They thrive on trauma bonding, keeping a psychological connection alive even when the relationship is over. You may laugh at how ridiculous it seems, like they're obsessed with little things, yet it's frightening how much energy they put into monitoring you. Another sign is the emotional whiplash they cause. One day they act distant, cold, or disinterested. The next they're suddenly intensely attentive, almost desperate for your reaction. That push and pull isn't random. That's trauma bonding in action. Narcissists use emotional manipulation to keep you hooked without showing their hand. If you feel a roller coaster of highs and lows around them, like you're being drawn back into the orbit you tried to escape, it's because obsession fuels their actions. They don't just want you. They want your emotional response, your energy, and your attention, even if they pretend they don't. They also test boundaries in ways that seem small but are deliberate. A comment, a lingering look, a slight invasion of space or privacy. These are all ways a narcissist measures how much control they can exert. You might brush it off as coincidence, as quirks of personality, but every detail is being logged, analyzed, and stored for later use. Covert narcissists are experts at hiding obsession behind subtlety. They don't need to announce it. Their obsession whispers, it lingers. It waits for the moment you are vulnerable. If you sense someone is circling your life with a strange intensity, it's not paranoia. It's awareness. Social media is another playground for their obsession. They will watch, track, and engage with your life indirectly. Likes, views, or even accounts that seem harmless are often part of a bigger picture. Control without confrontation. Narcissistic abuse has evolved with technology, and covert narcissists use every tool to remain present in your mind. If you ever feel like someone is always there online, almost haunting your digital life, it's likely they are obsessed. It's subtle, it's toxic, and it's designed to keep you thinking about them even when you want to move on. They also mirror your life in ways that feel strange. Suddenly you notice they adopt your habits, your style, or even your phrases. This is not flattery, it's control. Obsession for a narcissist often translates into imitation, a way to feel connected without admitting it. They try to integrate themselves into your world, to create familiarity that binds you back to them emotionally. If you notice someone oddly echoing your life or your interests, it's not coincidence, it's an unhealthy fixation that keeps them tethered to you mentally, emotionally, and socially. Then there's the guilt and gaslighting. A narcissist obsessed with you will subtly make you doubt yourself. They'll twist conversations, replay past events in ways that make you question your perception. Emotional manipulation is their toolkit. They want you to feel responsible for their obsession, to question your boundaries, and even to chase them unknowingly. This is why recognizing obsession early is key. You separate yourself from their invisible leash and stop being drawn into emotional turbulence that isn't yours. Sometimes the obsession is silent, almost invisible. They watch from a distance, analyze and wait. You might never hear from them directly, yet you feel their presence. Covert narcissists are experts at haunting without contact. Their obsession isn't about friendship, love, or genuine care. It's about control, attention, and the thrill of keeping someone's energy orbiting them. If you notice an inexplicable tension in your life, a presence that lingers even when people are far away, it's their subtle fixation at work. Recognizing this allows you to regain clarity, detach, and reclaim the mental space they try to invade. Finally, the biggest clue is how they react to your happiness. A narcissist secretly obsessed with you struggles to handle your growth, your joy, your freedom. They may pretend to celebrate it, yet underneath it triggers envy, anxiety, and a desire to regain control. This is why narcissistic abuse often escalates when you start thriving. Their obsession isn't about wanting you happy. It's about wanting to be the center of your life, to manipulate your emotions, and to remind you, even subtly, that you are never fully free from their influence. Recognizing these signs is not about paranoia. It's about clarity. When you see the obsession for what it is, covert, manipulative, controlling, you step out of the cycle. Trauma bonding loses its grip. Emotional manipulation becomes transparent. You reclaim the mental and emotional space they tried to occupy. You regain your life, your energy, and your freedom. You realize that their obsession is not a reflection of your value. It's a reflection of their insecurity, control issues, and need for attention. The transformation is in your awareness. Once you see the patterns, the small invasions, the emotional whiplash, the digital shadows, you start protecting yourself. Boundaries become clear. Detachment is easier. You learn to prioritize your energy, your peace, and your sanity over someone else's obsession. That freedom, that clarity, that calm knowing that you are no longer tethered to a covert narcissist's invisible leash, that's the real power. And that's what breaks the cycle of narcissistic abuse once and for all. Understanding this changes everything. You stop questioning your instincts. You stop second-guessing your reality. You stop being pulled into a drama that isn't yours. You reclaim your emotional freedom, your mental clarity, and your life. The narcissist may continue their obsession in the shadows, but you step into the light. You step into your power. And finally, you are untouchable by their subtle manipulations, free from their covert games, and fully in control of your own story.